Welcome back to the 30th episode of the BatChums podcast. I'm Drew Leiter, and joining me tonight is my co-host, the man, the myth, the new legend, Mike Gordon.
And you can also add frustrated writer, just like Bookworm. Howdy. Yeah, when they kept talking about frustrated writers and frustrated authors and all that kind of stuff in these episodes, I'm kind of like, hey, I'm kind of taking that a little personally, Batman. I can relate.
All right, so this is season 1, episode 30, While Gotham City Burns. Episode aired Thursday, April 21st, 1966, directed by Larry Pierce and written by Hendrik Ballarts.
And spoiler alert, Gotham City doesn't burn in this episode. There's some steaming going on. There's some steaming, and there's some smoke, but no burning in this.
So last episode, we were at the Wayne Memorial Clock Tower. Bookworm has Robin tied to the clapper of the bell, and it's almost midnight.
All right, I got to put a pin in that for a brief second because I meant to mention it last week. Last week, but it just completely blew my mind. All right, so the clock is named Big Benjamin, and it's a memorial to Bruce Wayne's father. So are we to take it that Bruce Wayne's father is named Benjamin on this show?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, the clock is named, it's a memorial to his dad, his father. They keep saying that, and it's called Big Benjamin. So I'm thinking on this show, Bruce's dad is Benjamin Wayne. Right? Like that seems to make sense.
It's possible. I don't know. They've never mentioned his first name, so we don't know for sure.
Right. Yeah, they never I don't know I think in the mythos in the comics it's already established, but his parents' names are, I don't know that actually, to be honest with you. So I don't know if they just were making a leap, or if obviously Big Benjamin is a play on Big Ben in Britain, in London. I get that. But I mean, they keep saying, they made a thing that it is like a memorial to his dad, which I like that those references keep coming up, keep reminding us subtly, in subtle ways, that, that Bruce's parents are no longer with us, that something happened to them. But I just was like, wow, I guess his name is Benjamin Wayne, which is just kind of sounds odd, doesn't it?
Yes. No, but it's possible this is a different version of Batman. So, I mean,
we already established he was a lawyer, not a doctor in this show.
Yep.
So yeah.
Now I'm on my other show, Earth Station DCU. We're actually start reviewing a mini series called, what's it called? Batman Dark Ages, I think. And in this version, this is something I hadn't seen before. Bruce's parents go to see the Mark of Zorro and leave him at home. So, yeah. So I hadn't seen this before. So his parents die, or his parents are still killed, but he didn't witness it. And we see Bruce Wayne growing up different. So,
wow.
Yeah,
That is interesting.
It's
I like those Elseworlds.
Yes. So it's by Mark Russell, and it's very interesting. I'm excited to read the second chapter of it, because this is a different origin than we've seen before.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, Mark Russell wrote. I have to give Mark Russell a lot of credit because I've met him at MomoCon years ago, and at the time he was writing Flintstones for DC, and I heard good things about it, but I just thought it was kind of an odd take on the Flintstones, and I didn't think much of it. Then after meeting him, I promised that I would give it a try, and I read it, and I was like, wow, this is actually really, really good. So So if you have not seen his take on the Flintstones, I'm sure it's available on trade or digitally or whatever. Um, but I would check that out. But yeah, so that is interesting. But yeah, I'm always up for different takes, and I love the fact that this is a different Batman. This is, Earth 66, right? I mean, look, I know that there was only supposed to be 52, but come on. You have to name this Earth 66. You cannot have, like, this can't be like, yeah, this has to be 66. So, anyway, just thought I'd get that out there because it hit me when I was watching episode 29 at the end, but I was so interested in, what was going on with Robin and everything. It didn't really click with me. But then as the chief and Batman are talking about the clock tower, I just hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, wait. It's like this is named after his father. What? Like so yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so we got the big question: will Robin die? So, of course, we got to bring in our expert on these
Yes,
matters,
absolutely. Will there
Magic
be a death in
Batman.
the family? 60s style.
All right, let's see what he has to say. Not enough clues.
Well, that's about what happens in the course of the beginning of this episode, really. It's pretty chaotic, as I'm sure you're about to get into.
All right. Batman is driving in the Batmobile when Chief O'Hara flags him down. They search the hall and can't find a trace of the bookworm. Also, the alleyway where Robin was watching Lydia is also empty. Batman calls Robin on the utility belt wavelength, but does not receive an answer. Using his photographic memory, Batman figures out that Bookworm stated he strikes at midnight. He refers to Big Benjamin, the clock in the Wayne Memorial Clock Tower. All right, I'm
Yeah.
going to stop here for a minute
Yeah.
because
I don't think it's
because
yeah, go ahead.
we see Batman trying to use his photographic memory, and he gets mad at Chief O'Hara for interrupting him.
But it's more than that because he gets mad because he says not only is he trying to remember things, but he's like in going into some bat trance, but he also says that he's trying to get into the mind of a criminal. Like he's trying to actually think like Bookworm. And he's trying to put himself in that sort of frame of mind, which is something that we haven't seen before. And to be honest, I found it a little bit ridiculous. Sometimes this show does go a little bit too far, and and sometimes Adam goes a little too far. And I think that is one of there's a few grown moments. We mentioned it in the last episode where with the glasses, like all the crooks have to remove their glasses before the fight scene. That kind of as a groaner. I was groaning during this whole whatever bat meditation thing that he was doing. I'm like, because they keep saying that he's only got seconds, right? This is the longest, like 30 seconds ever. Like it takes us like 10 minutes to go to have 30 seconds play out in this show. I mean, Robin's about to die. Like it just um but anyway, it's actually the most I think we've seen Batman and Chief O'Hara one on one like since the show started.
That's exactly what I thought too when I was seeing this scene. We really haven't seen them together like that. It's usually him and Commissioner Gordon, and Chief O'Hara is just kind of hovering in the background. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was happy to see Chief O'Hara get a more center role in this. Batman tells Chief O'Hara they don't have one Big Benjamin second to lose.
Named
So
after in
Chief
honor of his
O'Hara rides
father.
with Batman. Yep. Chief O'Hara rides with Batman in the Batmobile. And I got to stop and talk about this too, because I thought this was ridiculous. The chief of police being scared to ride in the Batmobile, he's like covering his face with his hands.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
like,
and it really didn't seem like Batman was going that fast.
no.
Because as they don't mention it, but it's almost like with Batman's speed, would he, I mean, would he still keep it in the safety speed limit, right? Or would he like say, or I would imagine the chief would give him special permission to go faster because of life with at stake. But so we don't get that discussion. But yeah, it is funny watching Chief O'Hara just kind of go like, like, yeah. But
But the thing is, they are deputized. They are deputized. So,
but that doesn't
but
mean they're above the law.
no, but police cars and stuff, when they have their sirens and stuff going, they can speed.
Except
But we
except
don't
when except when they lie to
really have the
people.
Batmobile with a siren, except for the what?
Except for they're not above the law because they as Batman keeps reminding Robin throughout the series, right? We're not above the law. Like, why do we have to park here? Why can't we, do this or whatever? And Batman says we still have to obey the law, and except when we lie to the press all the time and we fake our own deaths all the time, which we're about to do in a little bit. So, and when we leave our like parachutes around all over Gotham
Well,
that people have to pick up.
now we have a pickup service, so we're cool now.
Yeah, it's gotten so bad that they actually had to commission a service to pick up his parachutes. So funny. So good. So good. All right, go ahead.
Chief O'Hara
Robin
tries.
is still attached. We're still, it's only 30 seconds, Drew.
I know. Chief O'Hara tries to shoot out the clock mechanism, but the bullets don't even dent it. Instead, they use the bazooka. Batman fires a grappling hook to the lightning rod and then a second one to the hands of the clock. Using the Batmobile's nuclear power source, Batman connects both conductive lines to the positive terminal. Light charges of electricity repel each other. Thus, the clapper and the bell will repel each other. It works, and Robin is saved.
Yeah. It's pretty it's pretty extensive, and as far as the Doom Trap goes, it was pretty impressive looking visually, but I think the end result was just kind of just this chaotic mess. I mean, I did kind of like the fact that they're frantically working on it. uh you know, Chief O'Hara's just shooting at anything, like just I guess, and trying to like hope he doesn't hit Robin. But yeah, because I that's what I would be like. If he as soon as he started shooting out there, if I was Batman, I'd be like, no, no, just put that down. Just let's not do that. Um, I thought he was gonna, I thought he was rigging it so that the with them all tied up, the hands being tied up with his with the grappling hooks, that they wouldn't be able to move and it would never reach midnight, but they had to go for some sort of weird other explanation involving the nuclear power of the Batmobile and all that, and it's fine. It just is kind of a little too much.
I'm surprised they didn't shoot a piece of bat foam up there or something just to he hit something soft.
The At one point later on in this episode, Batman says, and this is what I was referring to in the beginning. Batman says to Robin, what the Bookworm is doing is typical of a frustrated author. Bookworm is over plotting, and he calls him a foolish amateur because he's over plotting, like an amateur. And I just was like, first of all, I was like, okay, that's a little too close to home, Batman. Stop making fun of writers. And also I was like, I don't know if the authors of this story are kind of saying that, yeah, this is our first go around, and yeah, we're kind of over plotting it. And this really seems like over plotted. Like the right in the beginning, trying to get Robin out of this. I mean, it just seems like it's a little too much. But it's still fun to watch.
All right. Later on at Wayne Manor, Bookworm shows up claiming to be from the Bookmobile. He gives Mrs. Cooper a copy of Congressional Record March 1919 and tells her it has great illustrations. When she opens it, Mrs. Cooper and Alfred pass out from knockout gas. Is it me, or does Alfred get knockout gas almost every other episode?
I think by my count, and I haven't actually, been actually counting, but I think this is the fourth time Alfred gets gassed. And so I can't imagine that he's tickled by it at this point. And also, shouldn't he know what Bookworm looks like?
Yeah, you would think.
Like, shouldn't he like know? Like when Bookworm just comes waltzing into Wayne Manor, he should be like, "That's Bookworm." Like, I could see Aunt Harriet maybe not knowing and getting it, but come on, Alfred. He deserves to be gassed up. But yeah,
In the Batcave, Batman receives a call from Commissioner Gordon. Wayne Manor has been robbed. Bookworm has stolen a priceless first edition cookbook. In addition, in the middle of the street at Cedar and Fifth, a monstrous apparition has appeared. Batman and Robin go to investigate.
all right, let's put a pin in that. The cops call Batman because Wayne Manor has been robbed. Robin and Batman are downstairs in the Batcave when all of this happens. Batman even looks up and even says something like, "I'll be there faster than you can imagine," right? Like, I'll be on the
Yes.
scene faster than you man. But here's the thing. So who called the cops? So it couldn't have been
I'm
Alfred,
guessing
because there's
Alfred
no
or
way Alfred would call the cops before he'd go downstairs and be like, "Hey, we just were robbed and gassed upstairs," right?
that's true.
So it had to be like
Mrs.
so he
Co-
so I
Mrs.
think
Cooper?
I think Alfred was gassed one time too many, and he's still unconscious, and Aunt Harriet doesn't know what to do, so she's calling the cops, and she's probably frantic. She's probably trying to reach Bruce and Dick, so they should at least like give her a heads up. But um, yeah, I don't think it was Alfred that called because Alfred should know better. Alfred should
Yeah, that's
should
true.
should. So that's my explanation for it. But it is kind of crazy because it's like, who called the cops? Like why would the police know before? Like they just look up like, wait, that just happened upstairs?
And it's also weird that they don't have any sort of monitor, monitoring devices in the Batcave for the Wayne Manor.
Oh yeah. Well, that's just poor security right there. I mean, we've seen Wayne Manor get like attacked several times already, and I'm sure we're going to see it attacked even more. So that's going to be a habitual problem.
Holy tome! Batman and Robin arrive to find a giant cookbook in the middle of the street. Using the high energy radar, Batman and Robin probe the book and discover the book is hollow. Using the super powered bat magnet, Batman and Robin open the book from a safe from a Batman and Robin open the book from a safe distance, or at least they think they do. Bookworm really opens it using a remote control. Batman Batman and Robin cut open the first page to discover a kitchen inside. There is soup cooking on the stove. Suddenly, the book cover closes, trapping Batman and Robin inside. Holy pressure cooker! Bookworm plans on steaming them to death. I
Robin
had to,
Robin actually tries the soup. Like
yeah,
I would not touch that soup.
I know. I laughed at that too because, well,
It's
they
the
both sniff it.
and and he's like, and it's good soup too. And it's like, no, like Batman should have been like, no, don't you be like, don't don't take food from villains. Don't do that.
Yes. That soup could have been poisoned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe Batman, since he's 10 steps ahead, knew that, it wouldn't be poison, but still, it's just that was kind of weird that Robin just goes instant. Man, he must have been hungry.
He must have been. Didn't get his, because Mrs. Cooper and Alfred were knocked out. He didn't get his cookies and milk.
That's right. That's right. He was kind of like he wanted some soup, so at least it smells good in there. If you got this good soups cooking, you might
Yeah.
be steamed to death, but at least it smells good.
Bookworm and Lydia steal the Batmobile. Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara, and his men show up and start trying to pry open the giant book cover with picks, axes and sledgehammers.
Can I just say
Desperate,
also, like, what it has become a lot easier now to steal the Batmobile. It used to be almost
yeah,
impossible to steal the Batmobile, but this is like the second villain in a row, new villains, because Tut did it as well, that just steal it. Like, and I think Riddler had stole it, or somebody had stole it, like even like before that. Like I think now the villains are onto whatever security system, that Batman has on the Batmobile. Now they're just stealing it like crazy. That must have word must have got out. They must have all told each other in Arkham, or the penitentiary where they go. Do they go to Arkham? Is it Arkham?
nope, not. We haven't seen it in this series.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's just Gotham Penitentiary, right?
Yep,
Yeah, not even
because
Blackgate.
yeah, not even Blackgate, and we know because the warden's always trying to rehabilitate them, and
Right.
it's always failed.
What fun would that be? So yeah, apparently it's pretty easy to steal the Batmobile now.
Desperate, Commissioner Gordon even considers sending for the Riddler to help. I thought that was interesting. Let's pull the Riddler out of prison to have him help, so
Yeah.
he'll be on the
Like
loose.
like how's that gonna work out for her? Like the Riddler's gonna be like, I'm not like I could crack it, but I'm not doing it. Let him die.
He'd probably
Batman's in
be.
there, let him die.
You know what? He's got such a big ego. I could see him freeing him because he doesn't want other villains to kill him. He would want to kill him.
Well, that might be true. That might be true. You might have something there. He's like, he's not gonna let Bookworm get one over on him. He's not
Yep.
gonna let Bookworm be the one that killed Batman when he's tried several times. You got me on that. You got me on that.
In the meantime, Batman calls the Batcave and has Alfred patch him into the anti-crime computer. Batman tells Robin that he needs to find the source of the steam.
Can I
Back
just say
outside,
here, sorry, I didn't have the pin. Can I just say here too, Alfred leaping over the guardrail of the was so badass. I was like, okay, he might be an old man and he might have been gassed one or two times too many, but that guy could move. He leaped to the rescue. It's like when Batman's calling, leaps over that thing.
I think it's kind of funny that they have to call the Batcave to figure it out. They just can't look around and find out where the steam's coming from.
Yeah. World's greatest. This is not the world's greatest detective, Batman. I think we've established that, right?
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Back outside on the street, the police are able to open the book cover using dynamite. Once the book cover is open, the police discover that Batman and Robin are missing. They have been vaporized. The police take off their hats out of respect.
See, I think this is for Gordon, this is his comeuppance because we thought that he was dead at the beginning of the first episode, a part of this, and now he thinks Batman is dead. Batman and Robin are dead. So it's like, it's about it all balances out.
Because steam can vaporize bodies. Meanwhile, at the Morgan built library, Bookworm and his men use the bat beam to break into the library's vault so they can steal priceless books. When they blow a hole in the wall, Batman and Robin come out. Batman reveals they escaped Bookworm's steamy trap using the manhole under the stove to escape. Bookworm hides in a trash can while Lydia hides in a cabinet. Bookworm's henchmen take off their glasses and a fight ensues. Batman and Robin win, capturing Bookworm and Lydia. At police headquarters, Bruce Wayne donates $5,000 to the state prison library. Bookworm and Lydia are brought in so Bruce Wayne can meet them. When Bookworm quotes a poet wrong, Bruce Wayne corrects him. Bookworm states that Bruce Wayne is almost as annoying as Batman.
Almost. Yeah, I, you know, um, I like the fact that the fight was outside. I don't think we'd gotten that before. It was out. I mean, obviously, it was still on the soundstage, but it was just outside in an alley. But I like that. I think Roddy McDowall kind of played the whole like being knocked out kind of goofy, a little too goofy for me. But It's fun, despite the fact that, we're criticizing it and all that, and it just I don't know. It doesn't completely win me over, as Roddy McDowall. I know I've seen him in several things, and I know he's capable of great performances, and I think he does give it a good shot. I wish he had gotten a chance to play this character again. I think the idea was that he would be on again, but that it never came to pass, and that's kind of too bad because I think I would have liked to seen a little bit more, because it does seem like in this one, at least there's a pretense that Batman and Robin are up against somebody who is a little bit smarter than them, because he does kind of run them through the paces. Uh, they don't know what he's going to do next, and we don't know what he's going to do next because it doesn't seem like his plan makes any sense. But I like it overall. But we got, this is the second new villain that we get, from after King Tut, and I think Bookworms has more potential than King Tut, but I can't say that I like this story as much as I like the King Tut one. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. And one thing I found annoying was his leather suit. That thing scrunching
Yeah, it's
drove
supposed to
me
be
nuts.
leather. It's supposed to be leather, but it's kind of this cheap vinyl, right? So it doesn't look great.
No, and it's noisy.
I did like the lamp on his head though, the book lamp on his hat. And his glasses, the fact that he can use them to communicate. I like all that. That works for me. Francine York was pretty good as the mall. Although I don't think we talked about it last week, but I mean, what Batman and Robin do to her is pretty like illegal and disturbing. Like, taking her to the Batcave to work on her and then bring her back, and as if nothing happened. It just, like,
Yeah,
that was almost uncomfortable.
yeah. It was borderline creepy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, I didn't think it was necessary at all. Like, I think they could have just like given her a bat spray or something and had the same effect. I think I was puzzled in the last episode as to why they needed to have that happen, because they were using two different sets. But, on reflection too, the more I think about it, the more I was like, yeah, that just feels weird. It's like, let's just take this woman and kidnap her and work on her like a bit and try to find out what's going on with her. And it's like, yeah, that's if you're a deputized member of the law, that's something that the law is not allowed to do.
I'm sure they could have
um,
figured things out a different way also.
but I will say that despite everything, and like I said, it might have been lacking in some areas. I will still stand by. I think it's got one of the best openings of any of the episodes that we'll see, because I mean, it's so jarring to see Commissioner Gordon get shot, and they don't play it for laughs. They play it as sincerely as this show can do,
Hmm.
and you're left really kind of freaked out. I mean, I was stunned the first time I saw it, and even now that I know that he's okay and everything, it still has an impact on me. I still really one of those, Hey, I like Commissioner Gordon. He's a fellow Gordon, so.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode. Did you have a shout out, Mike?
I do. I do. Another resource that I like to use as we're talking about these episodes is, there's a website called Reactor, that features a lot of recaps and reviews of popular TV shows, and there's a bunch of reviews of the Batman series. One in particular, that did a rewatch of the whole Batman 60s series and has reviewed them story by story. They don't do it episode by episode like we do, but so they combine the two-parters. And by the way, I'm not sure if we discussed this, Drew, but the first two seasons will be all two-parters, I believe. And then the third season, it's all just single episodes. There's no two-parters after the second season, I think. I think. So we'll find out. But anyway, um, but someone who did the rewatch years ago. I don't know. It's almost been about 10 years ago now. But the essays are still available on reactormag.com. And the essays are all by each story is reviewed by Keith R.A. DiCandido, who is a amazing author. I appreciate his work so much. He's written a lot of like Farscape books, Star Trek books, a lot of he's written Spider-Man. He's done a lot of tie-ins. He has his own series of novels that he does, the Dragon Precinct books. I've met him several times. I've been on panels with him at Dragon Con. He's a good resource, and he does a lot of these reviews. And so I really appreciate his reviews. Sometimes we don't agree all the time on things about each episode, but he always brings a lot of insight to whatever he was viewing. I think he's done all the Star Trek shows, episode by episode, and he does the Batman. He's done the Batman series as well. So if you go to, and we'll have a link in our show notes, if you go to reactormag.com and just do a search for Holy Rewatch Batman or Batman or Keith DiCadito, you'll see that his articles on every single one. So I always look to those as well. Once we're done with the second part, that's when I read reviews and I read the stories that inspired him and stuff like that. Because I really like to have them, like when I watch them, even though I've seen many of them before, I like to have them fresh when I watch them. So, and get my first initial reaction. But I also like to do some research and follow up with certain things. And that's one of the websites I use.
All right, and for my shout out, I'm going to shout out about Batman Dark Age #1. Since I mentioned it earlier in the episode, I figured I might as well shout out about it. And I'm gonna read you the little snippet about it. It says, "Well, this is by the Eisner nominated team of Mark Russell and Mike Allard, who did Superman Space Age, which Cletus and I covered on Earth
Yes.
Station DCU.
Yes, I like Mike Allard's work, and I've been meaning to get that Superman story. Did you guys like that?
Yeah, we did. All right, so here's the description of this. It says, "Meet Bruce Wayne, Gotham's favorite delinquent son, in an origin story like no other. Witness the boy become a dark knight shaped by a city in turmoil as it marches towards its prophesied doom. Set against the backdrop of actual historical events, Gotham comes alive, filled with iconic characters who've loved and hated Batman over the years, like you've never seen them before. Spinning out of the Eisner nominated Superman Space Age, Mark Russell and Mike Allard returned to give audiences a look at Batman as a figure in American history fighting for justice in a world gone mad."
Nice,
So, and
nice.
we reviewed, I think, yeah, on our last episode, which was, well, it's not even out yet.
But
So
it will
it's
be by
coming
the
out
time
soon,
people
but
hear
it's
this.
that is true. It is Earth Station DCU episode 382. But yeah, we Cletus and I really enjoyed reading the first one, and I'm excited about reading the second one, which we're either doing on our next episode or the episode after. I know it's coming up really soon. So,
Awesome. That sounds great. I'm always looking for good bat reads.
all right, if you'd like to comment on anything we've talked about tonight, you can reach us at our feedback line 317-455-8411. Text us, leave us a message, or you can email us at batchumspodcast@gmail.com. Now, I was excited because we actually got a text, but it ended up being spam. So if somebody wants to text us out there and let us know what you think of the show, that'd be awesome.
We need a
Uh,
bat anti-spam filter.
yes, I guess so. All right. You ready to get out of here, Batchum?
Sure thing. Bat chums are ready to move out.
Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Don't worry, the worst is yet to come.